I wish good things to you who's watching this. Hello, everybody in the chat. Hi, Elias. Hi, Raf. Hi, William. And we are up for a first stream of 2022. I mean, for the first proper stream of 2022, because the World Championship, the World Team Online Carcassonne Championship, is underway. Round 1, group stage matches. Catalonia is playing against Czech Republic. Now you can see all the lineups here, and first of all, because the matches are about to start, let's pick a pair to follow, and then we're going to talk about all kinds of other things, about the backstory of the World Championship, about the changes in the rules, and about anything else that you want to ask me. Also, can you hear me properly? That's also a good question. I assume you can, but let me know if anything needs to be adjusted. So actually what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow Danis VH versus Marty, and I'll explain why in a second. So as you see, the match has just started, and the players have 22.5 minutes, which is a significant change from last year, when you had 30 seconds per move only, or you could when the time was generally allocated per move. Now it is 22.5 minutes for the whole game, like a proper Mind Sports tournament. Same type of time control as chess, and also there's more time to think, so there's more time to make quality moves and make the best Carcassonne calculations. So the reason why we wanted to follow Martin here, by the way, in Czech Republic, the majority of players are named Martin. There's Martin Mojžiš, Moje 88, who's the 2012 world champion, who's also on the lineup today. Then the team captain, Martin with the screen name Marty Party. Actually, I forgot his last name for a second. And also with the screen name Bormar, Martin Boresh. So if you ever speak to a player from the Czech Republic and you forget their name, you can just simply bet on Martin. Now, as you see, also Marty has a rating of over 700, which is means that he's one of the 2 Czech masters. And with the screen name Danis VH, one of the strongest players on the lineup, Daniel Garcia. Out of all the duels, I would expect the tougher fight over here. Okay, let's make of the position. Let's make sense of the position. Well, red has 8 points, and I like that for red. Green has a fantastic road, which he's about to finish and then equalize. However, red has a 5-point monastery right over here. And so I'd say that because of that, red gets to enjoy a bit of an advantage at the start. So if you're green, I would expect green to complete his road and just score the 10 points. Obviously 8 for the road and 2 for the little tiny road at the top. But of course, he's now using all the time available to him. Because there's just so much time to use. By the way, interesting, Elias says that it's common for certain teams to have widespread names. So apparently the US players are called L, and the Portuguese players are called Ricardo. And yes, the match will in fact end after Chile versus Romania, because Chile versus Romania is our next match, which starts in about an hour. And I hope this is, by that time, my special guest makes their way into our studio. That's right, there's gonna be a guest, maybe. So green doesn't have the easiest decision here. It's not quite obvious where to put this tile. So you can look at some candidate moves. You can place this right over here to harass this meeple a little bit, and then in case you get a city splitter, and then you separate from here, and then you maybe block this. But it's a long shot, and this is the second move, which is totally doable. And now green looks to reclaim the advantage, even though red is ahead by 2 points, and red is now about to contest the city, but green just at the last moment will manage to snatch it and be one step away from claiming a decisive, well, I'm not sure if it's a decisive advantage yet, but it's quite close to that. One more monastery goes over here, I assume, if you're green. Really just no other move. No other move that I can think of. But of course, players need to use their time, and it looks like green is taking advantage of this new format productively. Yeah, so red is now trying to make sure that green does not get to complete this city. Green is still only one step away, which is why green might consider just placing this tile over here. However, this move is problematic that there's still 2 blocking tiles. Yes. Oh, fantastic tile for green. You go over here, you meeple the city, and then you just enjoy your gigantic advantage. I think you do meeple the city, though. However, even though green will eventually complete this city with a 94% chance, well, because there's 4 of those tiles left that fit over here after green places this tile here, I really think that green is not so much thinking about where to place, but whether to place a meeple, and the thing that you have to place a meeple here just because, well, you can't leave an 8-point city lying around empty. And as you see, green will soon have their meeple back, so it's not such a big deal to spend a bit of time without meeples, especially given that you can extract value from certain tiles. So with this straight line, you can either score a point for your monastery, you can either start harassing this city, you can either cover up over here, hoping to keep hopes for a city splitter alive, because there's still 1 city splitter tile that is remaining. That's actually an important aspect of planning when you're out of meeples, is how much value can you extract from tiles whilst you have 0 meeples. So this is one of example of tiles which are not that great. Because green has to leave this empty city cap, which red will happily pick up. But I think when this tile comes, the trade-off will be roughly even. Red is doing the correct thing of placing a farmer in advance, because eventually this city will get completed and this farm will be worth 3 points. Another thing which red should do is place another farmer somehow. Somehow another farmer on the other side, because this field will also be worth 9 points. And now here's an interesting decision for Marty. By the way, we can see that Marty has already spent over 8 minutes on the first half of the game, which I think is the correct choice. And here's the decision. Do you place this tile over here or over here? And you might think that you always place it over here, but this move has some downsides because it leaves a potential for 4-point roads, which completes over here and creates an attacking point from above. But if you place it over here, then this road becomes a little bit vulnerable and you're taking away some of your completion tiles. So the ideal situation, of course, is that you want to place this over here, I think, regardless. And then you hope for a straight line, and there's still 3 of those left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are still 3 straight lines, so that you can take a 6-point road on your way out from the monastery. And then in addition to 3 straight roads, we also have 2 T-shaped crossroads left. So actually, if Marty places this tile like this, there will be still 5 tiles left that complete the monastery with extra value. That's actually an important aspect in building monasteries, because you want not just to complete the monastery, but build all kinds of other stuff around that, so that you gain extra points. For example, so that you gain 2 points per monastery tile for each tile that surrounds the monastery. Well, Martin knows better. I mean, it's not a bad move or anything. But now I think this situation benefits Reds a little bit, because Red will be able to score 5 points when he gets the T-shaped crossroads. But if Green gets the T-shaped crossroads, he'll be in a bit of a pickle, because either he has to just complete his monastery and forego the potential of the crossroads, and you really want to avoid sacrificing points like this, or you complete this road over here. Interesting move. So Green chose not to complete this little city, but instead Green went over here. Oh, I wonder why players seem to ignore this little city over here at the bottom. However, once Red completed the city, then there will be a connection point over here. But also, by completing this city, Red's... Oh no, Red blundered! Here's what happened. I think that Red thought that this field was sort of part of the bigger field, but instead Green just put down a meeple for 3 points, and the meeple is going to stay there. And there's just no way how this meeple is connecting to the larger field, with the one exception that you're going to put a curve over here, and then another curve here, another curve here, another curve here. Kind of, you can imagine a little ring like this going around, but it's just so convoluted and so unlikely, and I don't even think that we have this many curves left. So I think it's just a case of simply playing a bit too fast. Ref, as for meepling the field, I think I quite like it actually. The reason is you just want to drop a meeple there so that red does not drop a meeple there. I mean, there's many ways how you can win this game. I think after this city, it will be just excruciatingly hard for red to do anything. Which makes me think whether we want to have a look at any other games. Let me know if you're looking at any other duels that are happening right now. Great move by Marty. Just securing this 15-point field. And then Marty can just keep grabbing quick points. And avoid high variance situations. That's pretty much it. Also, as you can see, I think one of the source of Green's impending victory over here is his excellent time management. Even though there were situations where things seemed to be more or less obvious, like now, Green still checked all the other options, looked at all the consequences of this move, probably counted some tiles, and only then made his decision. So if you're green, now all you need to show is technique. Like, you don't need to do anything flashy, you don't even need to connect this meeple. All you need to make sure is that red does not take this connection spot. So if I were green, I wouldn't connect over here. I would not give my opponent a monastery point. I would wait for the T-shaped crossroads over here because there's still 2 of those left. And I would just take this straight line and put this over here to make sure that this little misstep here by red is completely boxed in. Now, at the end of the game, when you have such an advantage, you really need not to maximize the points, but you need to just make sure that your opponent doesn't have any opportunity to score a lot of points to engage in any risky plays, so that your winning chances are exactly 100%. Hi, Pere. Nice to see you here. All right, we have already quite a lot of viewers. Oh, by the way, yeah, don't forget to do all the YouTube stuff, like subscribe and click the like button. It is important for the algorithm. Because the ideal case scenario, of course, I like streaming for you a lot, but if somebody can also find this video for the YouTube algorithm, that would be great. That the online Carcassonne community gets more exposure. I hope I didn't phrase this too awkwardly. So yeah, so instead, green just goes for the points maximization, which of course is fine. It's maximization in the sense that green expects himself to connect over here, but like even that wasn't fully necessary. So Again, if you're Marty, love that move. It's just plain and simple. It doesn't create any chances. If you're red, you want to come up with something crazy, and I like it. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out, but the idea was that red wanted to eat up this city, and there were still tiles remaining to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there are 3 triangles remaining, and there's still 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wow, there's still actually 2 big. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 2 big tiles remaining. So there was a really decent chance, and actually, even now, Dan had hopes of completing this. Actually, I think I see, at least until recently. Okay, there was a tiny path to victory for red. Imagine if red can somehow quickly complete this city and then win this field outright with this tile. Yeah, and like put it like this and then join through the outside. But unfortunately, this is just not possible. And Marty also got all the connectional tiles over here. You might think of it as lucky because Martin got this and this, but actually, when it looks like your opponent is lucky, it's not always the case, because while Marty is getting Dan's tiles, Dan is getting Martin's tiles. So for example, Martin would love to have this. Or this. But it's just not happening. And now probably it's time to win this field outright. That's a good question, KK Spam, about this hints. Yeah, so the question is, given that there's much more time, there's more time to cheat, for example, to ask somebody else's help or to look from the help into the stream. I guess we'll just have to assume players' honesty. And also, to be honest, it's just quite hard, like, to look at your game and then look at the stream and then hope that the commentator comments on exactly the kind of move that you need to make, and instead of just like talking randomly to the chat, like to the chat at exactly the right moment. And then you also have to hope that the commentator is correct, which is not going to be the case always. For example, because it's obviously not my game, I'm not like that committed to being super precise with all the tiles. I might say, oh, you know, there's still 2 of those crossroads remaining, and then turns out there's only 1 crossroad. So I don't think it's such an issue. And given the cheating, paradoxically, even though there's more time to cheat, but because of that, there's also more time to eliminate cheating. Because the most common type of cheating before that was detected and sometimes reasonably suspected, but without proof, but, well, really reasonably suspected, is using automated tile counting scripts or any other automated help tile counting devices. Which don't really make you a better player, but they save a lot of time. And now, if somebody uses these tiles and breaks the rules, then at least their advantage is not going to be that significant. So at least, if somebody cheats, the effect will be not that bad. I got news that my guest is joining pretty soon. So we see the points being counted and green winning really as a result of this big city and then ending up with here. Also, as you see, green spent 20 minutes on this match and red spent 4 minutes. What a massive difference. All right, congratulations to Martin. Which duel shall we watch next? In the meantime, actually, I'm going to get my guests.
Hello.
Hello. You are already live, Melvin.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late, but it
No
was
problem.
Mother's Day.
No problem. There is going to be the surprise effect. Unfortunately,
Okay.
yeah, let me just put this next to you. In case somebody doesn't know, we have currently the captain of Team Brazil and vice champion of the world at the moment, Melvin Quaresma, and his friend Balu in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here. Hello, everybody. I can see Elias and Giraffe, so many nice people, Fisherman, Eric. Hello, hello.
Thank you very much for joining, Melvin. Anyway, we're going to talk about all kinds of things. But first of all, so just to update you, we watched a game between Danis VH and Marty Party over here. Marty Party won for Czech Republic. Which duel do you want to watch next?
I would say to watch Moya. Moya probably will have a long game. It's to use a lot of time, so maybe Moya. I think Carolina Garcia versus Burmar, Charling versus Burmar is a good game as well. It's up to you. It's up to you. Any game.
Let's see. Actually, I wanted to be honest. Like, I wanted to suggest Carolina Garcia. Oh yeah. By the way, so Charling is Carolina Garcia, and Danis VH I think is Daniel Garcia. Yeah. So they have like siblings on their team. It's a trend this year. So Romania has siblings, Latvia has siblings, Catalonia has siblings, and Chile has siblings on their lineups. So we're going to look just at the end of Martin's game, although we have to be more specific because apparently everybody on the Czech team is named Martin. So Martin Mojžíš, specifically the world champion, and they're only halfway through. This is amazing. Okay, you know what I want to have a look at? I want to see if...
I'm opening the game.
Oh, yeah. Can't you see it on my... I know what I can do. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to just solve some technical problems. Not problems, but I just need to show the game to Melvin. I think you can see it through Skype now as well.
Oh, let me open Skype then. And actually, yeah, I can see it via Skype now, but the image is not very nice. So maybe I can follow directly on BGA.
Just do whatever you prefer, whatever works best.
Yeah, I'm watching it. Yeah.
So, but this is just. You know, I'll stop talking. You know what I want to witness? Like Martin losing on time, even in this format. And this is not unrealistic. Yeah. Like, he has 5 minutes left. And remember, there's no increment. Like, if you lose, you lose. Also, there are no excuses. So what I like about this year's format is it's like very strict, very, very sportsmanlike. You know, you're late for the game, 6 minutes, you lose. You lose on time, you lose. Like, you don't submit your lineup, then like you play at this time. So I really like it's getting more stricter and more serious. I don't know, Melvin. What do you think of this year's championship in comparison to the previous year's one? Do you like the changes in the rules? Do you dislike the changes in the rules? And which ones do you like best? Because there were so many changes.
as part of the organization, I like the changes very much. I think we are following a different way. We are trying to do something more serious, maybe trying to avoid anonymity, for example, or trying to make things more maybe serious. You mentioned it, time. It's very important. Now we have 5 minutes of tolerance, and if the player doesn't appear, they lose. So I think those changes they are very important because we are trying to do something a little bit more professional, and it's way different from last year. We were very afraid about the new changes, but I think I think they are important for the game as an sport. Thinking about Carcassonne as an sport, and I like to think about Carcassonne this way. I think my video is covering the game, and Raf is asking to put my video over yours. Is it possible? Because it's covering the game.
Oh, sure, sure, sure. Oh yeah, I think I just better move the game really. Yeah, I did not realize that. Yeah, I think it should be better, isn't it? Yeah, so much better. Actually, Melvin,
Yeah.
do you mind watching the chat a little bit because it's a bit hard because we also need to talk to you and then adjust stuff on the screen and then look at everything. So if there are any interesting messages, that would be great. I will be looking at the chat as well. Yeah, even more viewers. That's great to know. So, well, we've talked about the championship, and we'll have plenty of time to do that. But what do you make sense of the position, Melvin? We have just a
Yeah, this big castle is a theme of the game. Um, we don't have big farms, we don't have many other things. It's like the main theme of the game by far. So it's split tile, and he has the chance to split, and he's probably thinking if it's a good idea.
Indeed. Just looking at it, it seems like a good idea because there's so many points in that city. However, one thing that's going through Green's mind is it possible that by helping Red split, he might be creating Red chances to win without the big city? So with
Yeah,
12 tiles to go, Red will have a 2 extra meeples for about 20 points in that city, I think. Is it possible to grab 20 points with 2 meeples? Maybe. For example, if Green doesn't manage to complete this city, if Red manages to take some sort of 6-point field, if Green doesn't connect to this road, if Green doesn't connect to this city, so they're still options, but it still looks like splitting here is something that will make a victory quite likely for Green.
yeah, exactly. Indeed.
However, what I like in this case is that Green is using his time.
Yeah, but he's offline, and I'm a little bit worried.
Huh. Well, he does have a time advantage. But by the way,
Yeah,
guys, unlike last year, if Green's internet is off, then Green's is going to lose. Like, that is unfortunate, but that is what's going to happen. So this year, just like in online chess tournaments, players are responsible for their own internet connection. So there are fair play rules, but fair play does not extend into the time domain. And this just makes things so much easier, even though sometimes it's a bit unfortunate because sometimes we had those disputes and it wasn't clear. Alrighty, so we see the separation.
yeah.
And, well, Moya now need to work very hard to try and win this game. I think it's still possible. He just needs to, well, obviously take this field at some point, but he also needs to finish this city, and he also needs to take this field, and he also needs to take these 4 points for the road. So he might even consider taking these 4 points, but no, taking 3 points for this field, actually quite like this.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many options to spend your meeples. You have all of 3 meeples left with loads of time in the game. Fantastic.
Well, we have two easy farms of 6 points. One on top, another one here and below. So, well, many options to do points with 2 more meeples.
Indeed. However, what happens is Martin is in severe time trouble. He is, oh, that's such a nice move. He managed to take this point without spending a meeple, and he also blocked these 4 points. However, now Green is able to equalize this city, and of course now Martin will be taking another field, but will this be this field or this field? So probably Martin takes one field, but I forgot, let me just, I forgot who's random 202111. I had it somewhere.
It's Jordi, I think. It's Jordi Carlos.
Yeah, Jordi Carlos, right. So Carlos being the last name, despite Carlos being a common Iberian first name.
Yeah.
So of course Red chose to take this field, possibly thinking that maybe Green has out to complete his city, in which case Red would get some spare points for this. And now what Green should do is probably nothing, because like it's not possible to place a meeple, right? Unless you place it inside this loop, which I hope he doesn't. It looks like Green is offline again, which is crucial because probably Green will be back.
Green can take the farm. Because
no. Oh, right, yeah, you're correct.
Because there is a 9 points farm on the other side and a 3 point farms inside. So he can take these 3 point farms, I guess.
Maybe he's calculating whether there are outs left to connect, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's still 3 curves? Am I not hallucinating? Yeah. There's still 3 curves. So this connection is actually mathematically certain.
Yeah, that's what he did. He took the farm.
Well, it makes life much more difficult for Martin. Will he use... Probably he drop a farmer, yes. That's correct. I like that. And now you're not even sure if you want to connect. Maybe you do want to connect, actually, because you do take these 4 points. You can't leave these 4 points to Martin. So all you do if you're Green, you take these 4 points, then you make sure that Martin spends an extra move on connecting a meeple here.
Yeah.
And then, because Martin will need to spend a move on connecting over here, Green can take this field and up top with the 6 points and secure the victory. Yeah, so this city looks like it ended up decisive and secured the game for Green, if I'm not mistaken.
Crafty Ref made a nice question. Time on screen isn't always exactly the same as real BGA time. How many seconds do you need to have at least to be 100% sure of not losing the match on time? I think it's easier now because with times per turn, you have to think about the time in each turn, and we have the increment. Now you don't have the increment, so if you are near 0 in the next round, you're gonna be down. So just take care. Do not take too much close to 0 with many tiles remaining. I think this is the only thing we can think. Oh, this is nice. I think Random did the 6 points instead of making the 4. Interesting.
I quite like this. And then it's possible that random just gets the other curves, and then maybe if he gets all the curves, he can just connect to this field, and then Martin will not connect to this.
Yeah, because Martin would take this 6-point farm with this monastery instead of taking 5 points as he did. So he anticipated the move that Moya would do with this monastery in the end.
Exactly, and now he just gets to complete his city. Wow.
Yeah.
So that was actually a very nice calculation. So it wasn't just the connection; he was actually thinking. And now probably Martin's. Oh, that's such a. It's gonna be like a game of chicken, right? Who connects? Like, do you lose the 3 points over here? Do you eat up this people?
It's a hard decision, and he did it.
And actually now,
Very nice game.
Yeah, but that's fantastic for Green. So he managed to preserve his 3 points and force Red to lose 3 points. That's just
amazing. Yeah.
Well, so it wasn't just luck over here. I mean, of course, there was the separated tile. Green played some really good moves. Yeah, so congratulations to Mr. Carlos for taking down the world champion. The 2012 world champion, but still, Martin is, even after all these years, considered to be one of the best players in the world. And it's 3-point difference. I didn't realize it was that close.
Yeah, and with that small farmer of 3 points in the end, it was amazing. Really nice game.
Yeah, very nice game. As you see, possibly there's some psychological issues over here, because this message over here means like Martin's not happy about this game. Like the full stop after the congrats. Anyway.
Yeah. Congrats period.
So in order to win, he will really need to kind of get back into the game psychologically. Also, it was so long. As you see, Martin did spend all of his time, so he had 8 seconds left, and he didn't lose on time. I guess, Raf, this sort of answers your question as well. I think 10 seconds is really, like, that you need to be sure, like, mathematically. Of course, it's better to not get under a minute. Like, 21 minutes is really enough, and the other 1.5 minutes are just, for internet connection disruptions, or your kids are crying in the other room or something.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Well, maybe you should care about. I know because Graph to Raf said that 10 seconds is not so safe. Maybe it's not. I've never get there, to be honest. So I don't know. I'm just supposing. Oh, Elias Moshe answered that 15 seconds is safe. Okay.
Well, I think we tested this. We discussed this within our team when time was much of an issue last year, and 10 seconds seemed to be. So we were instructed by our team captain last year to never go under 10 seconds. Hi, Krish. Yes, Pere is from Catalonia. He is not participating this year because he just has too much duties as an organizer. At least that's one of the thing. And I'm not sure if Devdean's participating as well. He might be. I think yes. So Catalonia might be without a couple of their strongest players, just because they're now captains of the organizing team.
Yeah.
By the way, yeah, Raf, your example, so going from 5 seconds into -3, well, that's 8 seconds. That's still under 10, so technically that probably should be all right. So this game was actually very interesting, so I do suggest continuing to watch that. In the meantime, how are other games going? Because we might see if we have any interesting updates in this corner.
Yeah, I was trying to send to Mr. Chris Kokis the message that Per wrote about not participating. He has his motivations and it involves the war and all those situations. When I find it, I send it for you in private. But
Yep. Thank
Per,
you very
an
much.
official message. Okay. So we're gonna follow Moya again, Alexei,
I
just to
suggest so.
open.
Yeah. In the meantime, do you think
Okay.
do we have any duels that have been completed? What's happening in the other games?
I'm looking for it. Oh, Chomps lost to La Nova Era. 2 games to 1. 1 point for Catalonia here. Bormar won the first game against Charlie.
So is it all Czechs leading?
For some reason, the Moya's game is frozen. I don't know if for the viewers it's frozen. No, it's not frozen anymore. I'm sorry. It's working, I think.
I guess it's just Moya thinking, right? What else could be happening? It's not the game frozen, it's Moya that's frozen.
Yeah, good one.
Although it is an interesting position, but there's still so much less to discuss because obviously we need to mention the context of this championship as well. Wait a minute. I'm not sure if people can see you anymore.
Mm.
Can you see Melvin, guys?
I think they can't.
All right. Think I... We'll deal with that in a second. In the meantime, okay, so I have to solve a few technical things. Can you talk about the position a little bit more, Melvin? I would really like to hear your insights.
Yeah, okay. The game, it's a good beginning for Moya, in my opinion, with 2 monasteries, what's amazing, and a very open field. Well, I'm seeing it on BGA now. 1 second. Okay. I don't know if you have the game opened, but well, I think he was spending some time to think about using this split in his own farm, or thinking about starting to invade or blocking or annoying that castle. And now he has this option again. He can make his city bigger or try to annoy the big castle of random. So what would you do, Alexei, in this position? Would you prefer to construct in your own city or start to like he just did?
Good question. Probably I would have done it the other way. I mean, this is certainly a legit move, right? Because if you don't connect, then at least you're going to start a new city, and at the start of the game, it's acceptable. However, when I have a slight advantage, and then I like to play assuming that my opponent will get the best of luck possible. So, which means that, like, if I go here, then I need to assume that my opponent will get a triangle immediately.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, like, it's not a game changer, this city. Red has already 13 points with these 2 monasteries. If Red can just finish up these 2 monasteries, well, then Red doesn't even need to join this city. However, I see that maybe Red wants to, first of all, wait for a cap over here, or for a triangle over here, so that he can develop his field and his monasteries more organically.
Yeah.
So actually, probably Moya's move is well thought out. And now, instead of finishing his big city, he should probably just take this little city cap, and this move will be worth 9 points. 4 for the city, 3 for the field, 2 for the monasteries. I'm starting to like Red more and more, despite him being this behind on the scoreboard and the meeple count.
Yeah, I would do different, but now with the sequence of moves, I tend to agree more with Moya's choice. Yeah, it's an interesting tile because he has the options to create new things or starting to think about the farm. This farm will be very important in the end. It's already important.
Indeed, and Red does have the head start because, of course, Red is going to complete the city at the bottom at some point and then immediately drop a second meeple.
Exactly.
So, other than La Nova Era, do we have any completed duels? Because I think now Catalonia is leading 1-0 in the big match.
Let me see her to CZ. Her to.
In the meantime, can you look at at this? I wanted to comment a little bit on the game. So we just saw a move from Green going and starting to fight on the field, which is definitely legit. However, I feel it was a bit impatient. With so many meeples, I would use the monastery as a monastery. I would place the monastery over here for 5 points. And also, I would take away this opportunity for Red to score 4 points like this. And then I would also set up completing a city over here above. And with this monastery over here, you could, instead of fighting for this field, you could start a counter field on the left with 9 points. So, because this field will be quite big, there will be many attacking points. So maybe it's not that urgent to attack with such valuable tiles. But it's something that I see quite a bit, that there are players who like to use monasteries as field tiles rather than monasteries. Well, I know the answer in advice, but tell me, Melvin, how do you treat monasteries?
I treat monasteries as monasteries. When I use monasteries to feud, for example, I feel like I'm wasting them. But it's just my style of playing, of course. I would do exactly the move that you mentioned, 5 points with the monastery in the left side. It would be near to a new farm, near to a good road, near to a construction of myself here in this small city. So it would be my choice. I prefer to using monasteries as monasteries. Otherwise, I feel like wasting, because I think I can work in farms later. I can't work in this monastery later, of course, because it's already done. So I try to use monasteries as monastery as much as possible. This is what I try to do, but of course players do it differently. And well, I understand the option from Jordi, but it would not be mine. It would not be mine.
Exactly. Excellent point, because you mentioned time sensitivity. You mentioned that you can fight for the field later. You cannot meeple the monastery later. And
Yeah,
as you see, I think, well, actually, I like this move by green, sort of starting a counter field over here. Would have been a slightly better counter field with the monastery here, of course, with more expansion spots and more green squares. But okay, no, it's definitely legit. And also adding an extra point to his own road. But what might happen now is this field connection might turn not as valuable, because I definitely see Martin just shutting down the idea and placing this tile over here, make it now much harder to connect, because there are only 2 tiles remaining that fit here, and these are 2 good tiles.
Yeah.
And pretty much I can't really imagine Martin doing anything else really in this position. I think there should be one thing that we... Again, I take this back. So if I said, you know, I can't imagine Martin doing something, then Martin is going to do that exact thing. I mean, I can see that, just adding more points to his city. Possibly Martin does not want to block the connection because he anticipates having a 2-to-1 advantage on this field. However, given that I'm a meeple disadvantage, I'd probably play it safer and just put it over here. But I like the ambition for sure, definitely. Legit move, trying to score more for this city.
Yeah. In this case, the shield on the tile makes a little bit difference, at least in my mind. When I have a tile with shield, I think twice about using it to block. I often use it to construct. But I don't know. I would do the same as Moya in this position, because maybe it's better to make this farm in the right together, because it's 2 against 1, and well, it's better than having 2 against 0 and a new farm in the right, because it's possible to make this farm the right bigger. And well, I like the move from Moya. I think it's a good one. Now I'm really confused about this tile in the Jordi's hand. Many options, and
not bad, actually, not bad. Trying to retain the meeple advantage, trying to fight from the field. And now he's going to connect to the field with extra value, the sort of the type of stuff that he's hoping for, probably over here. And then he's going to try and block these monasteries, although that's not easily done. And then he's going to try to connect from the top somehow, or with the curve over here. So the reason why I did like separating the field is because even though you have a 2-for-1 advantage for now, it's not going to last forever. And even if green survives with his little field for 6 points, there are still 3 vertical city splitters in the game. And with these city splitters, you can just drop them here and add 6 more points to your field. So, but also by adding these vertical city splitters and more splitters, there will be more connection points to the field. So if you already have 2 versus 0 advantage, it will be much harder for green to fight for the field.
Yeah, got it.
But now we got to see what Martin does. So a move that I see is maybe taking 2 points with the city cap turning to the left. Oh no, not anymore. Not after this city cap is gone. So see, the problem is there are 3 tiles that fit over here in this hole to complete the red's monastery. It's either a monastery, with a road, or the only remaining city cap. So whatever you put over here, you reduce your chances from 88% to 50% basically. So probably touching this wouldn't be the best idea. On the other hand, this is a connection spot. With any curve, green is going to drop a field meeple here and then also limit completion options anyway. So the question is, do you just ignore potentially missing out on this meeple and just try and score 2 points here to block this connection? But as I said, there's something completely different. Instead, Moya just going to make a big city. So Moya decided not to wait for triangles, which would be sort of the classic play. But just because of the sheer number of points, Moya is going to try to finish the city now. There's still 3 starting tiles to left that fit here. There's still one of those left, and there's still this guy over here.
Two is the curves.
All right, so it's 6.
Yeah, many seat caps for this position. Good move. Now Jordi can invade the farm with the monastery road or anything, putting the road inside. No. Even without the monastery road, he can invade it from below. It's an option, but I don't like it very much because it's a little bit too more risky than I like. So I don't know.
Yeah, I like this invasion really. Also, I mean, this block is understandable. So now, as a result of this sequence, so green got some results. Green, first of all, forced red to use a valuable tile for defense and not scoring 3 points. And then also green reduced the number of available tiles from 6 to 3, which is something.
Yeah. Well, now Random can think about closing his castle or let me see. Yeah, he went for it. Now Moya could close, but not anymore.
Okay, so we have some results. I mean, I can see Moya automatically placing over here. He just needs to calculate which side, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, now Rojoji needs to defend it because there is no more. Oops, he didn't defend it. I would defend to need a starting tile or closing with crossroads, because there is no more closings with the curve for this specific side. So I would defend it, the castle, I mean.
I agree. Defending is best, I think, and then something like this you can do a little bit later. But by the way, something interesting that well, at least there's something. At least you can still sort of continue and hope, because Martin didn't get the automatic block for this, so there's some hope for green. However, what happened over here is that because green's strategy is still very flexible, so maybe he can win with a field, maybe he can win with a city, maybe he can get some of his meeples back, and it seems to me that green now needs the same tile for various things. So for example, he needs the curve for defense, he needs the curve for this, he needs the curve to block over here. And you can't use the curve everywhere, and you only have so many curves in the game. So that's actually one of the skills that not everybody knows, that is how to spread yourself into different places of the landscape and make sure that your opponent just keeps chasing you. And if you create threats everywhere, it's not possible to parry all the threats.
Okay, just mentioning Craft Ref, he said that with red's last tile, crossroad at the top, I would finish my monastery instead, scoring 3 points, 2 for the road, 1 for the monastery, if green blocks at the top, he loses a tempo again. I like the idea of making this monastery free since a long time, because he had many options to do it, and now he can be in danger, but not so much, because we still have one initial tile. But now, for example, random could do 2 points and making 50% of chances to have this monastery free, because he can use this tile with the crossroad just to not block, but to attack this monastery. But it would not be my option then, I guess. I would defend my big castle, because it's very important in the top at this moment.
Well, but how would you defend it? Would you defend it like facing it to the left, so that you put a triangle with a curve here, or would you defend it facing down, so that you put a triple city with a straight line here? So the probability facing down.
Probabilities are the same, but I think you have more tiles with shield with the CCCR now at this moment. Let me check it. No, I think it's the same number.
It's the same. It's the same.
It's the same number.
But by the way, guys, did you see sort of this logic that when you think about defending, you can also think whether you are going to get shields. There are many. No, but this is important. Like, shields are extra point. Like, in this game, you have to fight for every point. It might be decisive. Just wanted to show you the depth of Melvin's logic, right? So not just saving the city, but also squeezing out the most maximum of it possible. But
yeah, the 4 points now. Easy 4 points.
Immediately. Because the thing, this is also one of the benefits of attacking and trying to block, is because sometimes your defense will be awkward and you're going to lose points. So this defense was very costly for green. So think about it. Green gave up on 3 points to defend, and he gave away 4 points. So actually, this defense cost 7 points. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
And now again, a curve that green needs for everything. You want to put it over here to complete this road. You want to put it over here to connect to the field. You want to put it over here to start a ring road, and you want to put it over here and then try to harass the city. And actually, what about throwing it over here and farming?
Yeah, perfect. This move is great.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's just hope that green doesn't watch the stream, so that they come up with it on themselves.
Yeah, it was a great idea.
Oh, Isna, excellent point. I also like this logic. So when choosing how to defend, Isna also preferred this move, because when you get this tile, the triple city with the road, you will be able to use it elsewhere and score at least 2 points, or 2 points with a block, right? And so now you're setting yourself for a triangle with a road. Oh no! Field. Well,
now Moya can use.
Yeah, and now Moya can defend and then place a field meeple, and of course you have to. So just let me finish the thought, and then so what green did over here is he's setting himself up for a tile that will be that green doesn't need elsewhere.
Yeah. And now, as you can see, green is not watching the screaming. Otherwise, he would put the farm, because we were saying that.
Yeah. Okay. I think I understand why green didn't take the farmer, because there's one blocking tile, right? If red gets this, then red puts it over here and blocks this field connection. However, you would still have points for this field. You would still have compensation, and if red somehow completes the city, this field turns into a 9-point field in its own right. So it's not a bad meeple. And most importantly, it's important to drop field meeples so that your opponent does not drop them in the same place.
And what is interesting is that if he used a farm meeple, red would before attacking the invasion, maybe defending his own castle. Maybe he would do it. He didn't do it now with this curve. What I think is a little bit strange, but well, I think the he would be like in a dilemma. Do I block the entering the field, or I defend my castle? He didn't defend it even without the farmer. So random now can, well, use one meeple to invade it, but
he already needs this tile elsewhere, doesn't he? Yeah, Melvin is back.
I feel afraid that Jordi now can invade, or with any kind of road, he would just block it because there is no more closing with.
Well, but here's where we have the problem, right?
I think people can't hear me. Oh,
they can already, yeah. It's just basically here's what happened. Like while I was calling you for Skype, I just turned off the sound so that we don't have the Skype ringtone that I just forgot to turn on back. But then I remembered. Anyway, oh, I gotta move the game because maybe I gotta make our faces smaller as well. Ah, no, we're good.
okay.
So, wait, what was that?
Jordi kind of defended the castle for Moya.
Yeah, what was that?
I don't get this move, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, so it could be two things. It could be a misclick, or it could be saying that, you know, I need the Dorito with the road over here anyway, so I can't be needing the same time everywhere, and I'm playing against a world champion, so I'm just going for 25%. So because the thing is, like, he has a 25% off, well, succeeding if he gets this and if he gets this. Well, it's sort of paid off temporarily, right? Because Martin's not able to complete his city.
Yeah.
But he's able to do like 52 other things. Can you complete this road over here? Can you like go and take the 4 points for this city, which is what I would do. Take 4 points, create a field connection option. There's no rush in dropping a field meeple already, but both players are in time travel, and green. How do you pronounce in Catalan? Is it Jorim or Horim?
There is some Catalan in chat. I can imagine it's Jordi, but that's
Jordi, yeah.
How I say in Brazil, but I really don't know. It's similar to Catalan, so kind of similar, Latin language.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, because like in Spanish, J is an H, is like a H,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure
Jordi.
it's not the same in Catalan.
Yeah, I really don't know.
Anyway, and also Geordie sounds better because Geordie is like an actual English word. Do you know what Geordie means in English?
No, I don't. What does it mean?
It means somebody from Newcastle, like from the English city of Newcastle.
Oh, I didn't know. Why, Georgie?
I don't know, but like English words have inexplicable origins.
You are linguistic, like you studied it. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's super nice. I noticed in your profile that you speak Esperanto, and I think it's really amazing. It's something like created to be like universal language, something like it. I may be speaking no, nonsense. I'm just saying what I remember from Esperanto.
Yes, vi pravas. Esperanto estas unu lingvo kreita en la dek nova jarcento. La kreinto de la lingvo volis igi ĝin la tutmonda lingvo. So actually, I don't know, how much of that did you understand?
Oh, I really understand well. Not lying. It's kind of similar to Latin language. Well, it's amazing. I've never heard it before.
Yeah, exactly. So the thing is, like, it's an artificial language, but the creator of this language, who was actually, he wasn't Spanish, he wasn't Portuguese, he was a Russian-speaking Jew from Poland. So,
Okay.
like, not anywhere close. But he just decided to take most of the lexicon from Iberian, from basically Romance languages and Italian and Spanish in particular. Of course, he tried to make it fairly balanced, but I think for you it's not going to be too hard to understand. And now we also see Martin winning the game, or at least almost winning the game by finishing up his city. It will be very hard to compensate for. Well, probably if Green manages to win this field, for example, by
Yeah, but now there is the dangerous because the left farmer of green can invade together with a road for red. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 against 2 in this big farm. Because now the left farm is almost joining the right farm with the road for red. So it's a good thing for green gent. But of course,
indeed.
Moya have many points ahead.
Yeah, and Moya might even just try and win without the field. Although if I were Moya, I would probably. Oh, I like that. Blocking the block.
Yeah, good move.
Very good move. So yeah, so guys, if you say, oh, I keep getting useless roads, no, find something useless to do with roads, such as this. And you see what happened. Now Martin made sure that red cannot start this nice 8-point city, but actually 11-point city, because that will be in red's field.
Yeah.
So yeah, instead.
Yeah. And you mentioned it's something very important in the book of Carcassonne. Vladimir Kovalev said that one big difference between good players and very, very good players is the importance that they give to the roads. And it's totally true in my opinion. The difference that average players and very good players, the importance they give to roads, they are very different. So, well, roads matter a lot.
Roads matter a lot. And now we see, but by the way, also you mentioned Vladimir. I think he's really good at finding good uses for useless curves, or so-called useless curves. There was one game where basically his useless curve turned out to be the game-winning move. Unfortunately, it was the game against Kriškautis of Latvia and the. In the quarterfinals of last year World Team Online Carcassonne Championships. But it was a really beautiful move indeed. Maybe I gotta make a video on it when I do so. So in the meantime, as we see, Green is trying to win this big city, which is a bit of a stretch because first of all he needs to win this coin flip, and then he needs to make he needs to connect over here before it gets blocked. So it will be a little bit hard to accomplish. But then green needs to risk as well.
Yeah. But with the 3 CCCRs left, I think it was okay, a good move, because, well, he needs still a 50% chances of the Dorito withdraw, because there is only one. But for the other side, the chances are high.
Yeah, the move's pretty good, and so far the tiles have been working out, and now he's only down 22 points, and he's ahead in this 18-point field. And actually, it's not that... I guess just Red wants to make sure that this city is never completed, in case he manages to win.
Well, now Moya can work to invade together. One meeple for it.
Or take 4 points.
Yeah, we'll take 4 points. Yeah, exactly. I think it's... I would go for the big castle just to be sure, but yeah, I agree.
I agree, because like at this point, quick points probably won't make much difference in the outcome of the game. So now you have to shift your mindset from point numbers to win probabilities, and really how you can secure the win. Because the thing, what's happening is like you're at plus 22. If you put this over here, you will be like everything here will be roughly equal, I assume, and then green has 18 over here, and then red has 8 here, but green has 6 here. So red will end up winning by just a couple points.
And Moya took the castle as we imagined.
Yeah, and I do think that's the correct move, because also what he's going to do, he's going to try and block this connection, so that he just gets to have a few spare points over here, and these few spare points above are the thing that's going to make a difference in the game. However, again, both players are in time travel, which means that the match of Romania-Chile is underway. So probably, well, we will need to think really hard what to do over here. I suggest let's finish watching this game first and then decide. In the meantime, do we have any other results, like decisive results, in the other duels?
I'm checking it for you a little bit. Herto CZ won against Freddy Wolf 2-0, so 1 point for Czech Republic. La Novera won, we know. Let me see Charoling and Bormann. They are in the last game, 1-1. So decisive game for Carolina Garcia and Bormar. I don't remember the name of Bormar.
Martin, of course. Everybody's name is called... No, but seriously, it's Martin Borish, I think. Oh, yeah, okay. Borish, because it's Bormar, right? Yeah, so many players actually have hints to their real name in their screen name. So, like, Bormar is Bormar, like Borish Martin. And then Hertel is Jakub Hertel. So, it's not that hard to remember.
Yeah, Hertel is here in the chat. I think it's Hertel Kuba Hertel. Is it right?
Yes, I think Kuba is like short from Jakob.
Okay.
Also, Martin's gonna go over here now. Yeah, like trying to. This is a common technique that you sort of try to leave this hole and then just crawl over here to eat up this big city. That's just beautiful.
Now with this tile, Georgi can take more 3 points to his farm. There is as he did.
Excellent. And now Moya will just keep eating and eating.
Now Moya has 4 quick points if you want. Or maybe...
Or you can connect at the top.
connect in the top.
And then just it looks so voracious. You put here, 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 and then eat it through there. It's like Pac-Man.
Yeah. Cuba said yes. Cuba is Jacob. Hertus is here in the chat. Oh, Carquiniolis said you are pronouncing well, Jordi. Or Jordi. I don't know how you did it.
Well, you said Jordi, so
Yeah.
I'm just yeah, sorry. I'm because I'm not speaking English. I'm maybe Americanizing the pronunciation a little bit, but.
There's 33 points in farms for Jordi.
And it looks like it's not gonna be enough.
Yeah, it won't be enough. It won't be enough.
So we have a classic win without the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Moya now did 6 points in farms, and I still have 1 meeple, so GG. Very nice game.
So if Moya wins, then we have a decider. And now the question is, do we want to watch the decider, or do we want to go on to Romania versus Chile, a match which is already underway?
Sorry, Alexey, you asked it for me or for
I'm really asking it both actually for our viewers, but also for you as well, you know, so you have the guest privileges.
I really don't know. I really don't know. Maybe I would start watching Romania. And Marian Kurkan is not playing today as well?
He's not playing. His brother is playing, but not Marian.
Yeah, Marian is playing the MSO. Many games in the MSO.
Oh, right. Not Carcassonne, I assume. Because he already won the Carcassonne MSO.
Yes. He's Olympic champion of Carcassonne, just like a friend of mine from Latvia.
Yes. Well.
Now with this tile, I'm just thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1 point there.
So is it like +8 for red, I think? Around that, maybe a little bit more. Oh no, it's much more decisive, yeah. So well, gotta win the field, not the game. No, gotta win the game, not the field. Excellent game by Martin here, and excellent game by Jordi last time. I kind of think the decider is going to be interesting, but also I want to make sure that we keep watching the Czech Republic only up until the moment that there is still tension in the match. So what's happening in the other duel? Has it been decided yet? Because there's one more duel remaining.
It's Charling, Carolina Garcia, and Boromar, right?
Yeah, let's actually have a look at what's happening there.
Yeah, it's in the end game, I think. 2 tiles remaining. Oops, the scoreboard is really close. Big road for Carolina. Very nice feud for Boromar.
12 points for Boromar in the field, and it looks like it's well, but a long road for Carolina, yeah. So it's
yeah, the road has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 points for Carolina Garcia. Really big road.
Oh, and it looks like she's winning +6 here because of this little field.
Yeah, exactly. I think she's winning the game then.
And then she's gonna take 4 points over here. And so she's going to be at +10.
Yeah, she just got to be careful about not given a space to invade the farm, but even with this space,
But it's not a problem, right? So you're plus 10, your
yes,
opponent invades and gets plus 12.
plus
Yeah,
12.
yeah. So no, that's actually. So what she might do is she's at plus 6. She might actually just invade herself, getting 3 points for the small farm above. I think probably what she's doing, I was just calculating all the remaining
You
tiles.
have like 9 points ahead, 9 points ahead with no easy points for Boromir. Maybe it's an option. I mean, closing the city and putting a farmer,
Yeah.
not taking the city.
So plus 9 for a meeple. That's something.
Yeah, that's something. Initial tiles, no more remaining, so Boromir can't invade there.
Oh, so going for the risk? Oh, however, okay, like
Okay, no, he
yeah,
can't do
but
anything.
if you were to invade, then Carolina would have an extra meeple to spend, just
Yeah,
like take 2 or 3 points, and then that should be enough.
exactly. And she would win.
But then that's all she wrote. Oh, that's interesting. Also, last time since we checked, so apparently Martin increased his level substantially because his elo shot up. But what is this the decider game between these two? How many games have they actually played?
Yeah, it's the decider. Very good. Carolina Garcia was the Spanish champion in 2014, I guess. Let me check it. Just some curiosity about the players. Yeah, Carolina Ruiz Garcia was champion in Spain in 2014.
Oh, by the way, one thing that we do not realize is that this field at the bottom is 15 rather than 12 points, because this little city is still part of here. It goes around the monastery like this. But I think it still doesn't change the outcome of the game. And also that interesting, so you said that Carolina was the Spanish champion, right?
Yeah, she was Spanish champion in 2014. But we didn't have a tournament in Catalonia in that year. It started only last year. So maybe now he will compete for Catalonia and not for Spain anymore.
Well, yeah, I guess that's the advantages of living in Catalonia. That's when you want, you're in Spain. When you want, you're in Catalonia.
Yeah. Well, you can only play one national tournament per year, but you have two options. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true. I
you
guess
only can
that's
play.
just being in the same position as I am at the moment. So this year I'm
Oh, exactly.
participating in the UK national championships, which is happening in early June. Very much looking forward to that. And
Yeah, and I like very much the tournament that they do in Catalonia. Maybe it's the only national championship when the final stage, the knockout stage, it's best of 3 matches. So they play it in 2 days. The first day is only round robin, all against all in 2 groups, I think. And in the last day, it's just knockout with best of 3 matches. So it's really amazing. It's a nice tournament.
oh, that's great. That's fair. And you know what I wish happened? By the way, congratulations to Carolina for winning the game. So it's okay. So it's tied. So it's 2-2. I guess we have to watch Martin's game. Like there's just no way. So unfortunately, Romanians will need to wait a little bit together with their Chilean friends.
So congrats, Carolina Garcia. Very well played.
Alrighty, so avenged her brother.
Yeah, I think her brother was a Spanish champion as well. I'm not sure
Oh,
about it. I can
really?
check.
Yeah. We actually
Let me.
we watched his game at the start before he came in.
Oh, it's true. He was national champion in 2013, 1 year before. Daniel Garcia, exactly, Danish.
Also, it would be
Yeah.
interesting to find out who's older of the two. Oh, okay. So I think they haven't started yet.
Yes.
So in the meantime, we can talk about some other things. Oh,
Oh, ref to ref me. Oh, sorry, Alexei. You was about to say something and I
I
cut
was
you off.
about to say the exact same thing as you.
You can go.
Oh yeah,
So
it's just Raf is mentioning that in Belgium it's four-player Carcassonne, which is of course a very different kind of game.
I think in many countries it was four players game. It was like this in Brazil, Spain, Argentina, but at least in those countries represented by the VIR, 2021 was totally different. It's all one against one. So maybe this difference will reach other countries because Carcassonne is developing as a sport with double TCOC, many things changed. So I think maybe in Belgium it can be different soon. Let's hope for it because Carcassonne for more players is a totally different game, a game that I don't like, to be honest.
I completely agree with you. Well, maybe except the last part. It's not that I don't like it. I do play it sometimes for fun, even though it costs a lot of elo per game.
I remember.
Yeah, I think I kid you not, I lost 86 in one game because I ran out of time. So I wrote I lost like rating to every single player and then also a penalty for the time.
Yeah. KT Daniel Sheng at LSC. He's saying that in Hong Kong, it's lucky that it's all one versus one. I think in many Asian countries, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, it's all one against one. And you can check the Japanese tournament in the channel in YouTube. It's Tokyo Board Game Channel, everything together. Just type it, and you're gonna find all the games, semifinals, finals, and they stream everything. It's super nice. I really admire the effort that Japanese organizers they put in the nationals. It's really amazing. I can paste it in the comments here.
Oh, please do actually, because I've seen some of those videos. They're very nice. Even though unfortunately I don't speak Japanese. Even without the comments, the games are spectacular, and the production quality is good as well. And of course, the game quality, like their players in Japan, they're just so good.
Yeah. It's very nice. I just pasted the link here so everyone can check it.
No. And now Martin, in the meantime, starts a giant field, and that's going to shape the whole dynamics for this decisive game. But yeah, good luck to all the players. And Greens chose to fight for the field immediately. I'm curious, Melvin, would you do that as well? Like, or would you take the road first and then drop a field meeple on the next move?
I would take the road first. I can fight for the farm later. The road not. It's almost the same logic. I prefer to take the in the beginning of the game. I have a philosophy of spreading meeples in constructions. Sometimes I spread them in farms, of course. Carcassonne, there is not a recipe for Carcassonne, but in the first part of the game, the first third, I like to spread meeple in constructions and different constructions, road, monastery, and cities, of course. So I would take the road in this at this moment. Maybe later, of course, fight for the field. Moya doing the car key.
It's
Elias Merchant commented.
it's not a car key when there are cities in this field already. It's car key when it's 0 points. It's an important distinction.
Exactly, it's not Karki. It's a variance of Karki. Karki is 0 points and farmer. Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's really the Carcassonne equivalent of the Bon Cloud opening. I don't know if you play the chess. There's like this joke opening where you sort of reshuffle your king and queen, and then you get rid of rules for. Well, basically, you just give yourself a small disadvantage just to make fun of your opponent. And this opening is very popular with one of the best players in the world, Hikaru Nakamura. But I think that's the same way how he just tries to show his dominance against percent lower rated opponent. Okay, so now, of course, road, juicy 3-point road. And by the way, this is one of the reasons which made it maybe the field connection not that urgent, because while it's not guaranteed that this field is going to spread this significantly, like, okay, so there are gonna be these 6 points, but then this could be a big city that ends up blocked. Well, there could be a monastery with a road over here, and next to this monastery with the road, there could be a crossroads, which kind of covers it nicely like this. So, you never know. I think Green is debating whether to continue his road, which, of course, is a good idea, but it's good that they're using their time.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we can also talk about other things. So if you guys want to use the chat, feel free to ask the most uncomfortable, the most challenging questions, the most interesting questions to our guest, Melvin, if you can.
And to Alexey Pegushev as well.
Yeah, you can. But I don't have any secrets. Approaching 100 views, by the way, so maybe just gotta send that link to the stream to your teammates. Would be nice to cross that threshold. That's okay. Unfortunate. You know what, guys? I think this move is a mistake, actually, because you don't get to use to the road. It's much better to just continue your road and start a new city over here. At least that's what I would do, and I'm like 99% sure that what Melvin would do as well.
Yeah, there is something that I learned, I think, watching Pinder games. When I was starting to play Carcassonne, I was very anxious to close cities. But after watching many Pinder games, I noticed that he was used to create new cities in the first third, because there are many city caps. And for example, with extender, as we call giraffe's neck, I don't know how you call tube, many names, for example. It's always better to have a city open for it. Otherwise, you have to create other options, but it's always nice to have city opened. So sometimes in the beginning of the game, it's better to not close city so quick, because it's not necessary. You don't need to be anxious to closing it. Instead, you can, for example, like he did now, extending the road and opening a new city. It's a more optimized move, I guess. Well, it's the point of view I have now about it.
Exactly, I completely agree. So the rule of thumb for the opening of the game is that you want to have 2 open cities at most times, and then you want to make sure that you need different kinds of tiles for completing the cities. Maybe one of the cities you build with city caps and extenders, and the other city you build with triangles. Like if you can complete a city, a rhombus-shaped city with the 4 triangles, whilst you have one 8-point city with an extender like this, and they are also in different parts of the board, so that you can attack them. Well, apparently Jordi is listening to us, because now instead of closing his city, he made the better move of closing his road and starting a new city. Now he has 2 open cities which are unconnected, and of course that's the...
Normally, I prefer to put my cities for the same side, so there is no option for the opponent to annoy me without using my own construction. So if I was playing, I would put my city to the right and not above, but I'm not saying it's a better move. I'm just saying what I would do, and mainly because I have this thing of not being annoyed, because, well, the 2 constructions are mine. So now Moya can annoy a little bit Georgie putting the road with Meeple, as I would do.
Oh yes. And yeah, that's a good idea. But the thing is, so basically, we were saying that you would put this tile facing to the right with a city cap. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, this is my preference normally.
Oh.
But well, it's not very good at this moment in this context because city caps with curves, dois, dois. Well, they are 4 of 6 already on the board, so maybe it won't be good. But I would still prefer, and I know I don't like the idea of. I think Moya have this great chance of annoying here, putting the road and with a meeple on it, and this option would not be available. Uh,
Oh, I think actually this is the first time where I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit, because I think normally I don't like the situation of having my two meeples like this with the caps next to each other, because whenever I finish one of these cities, the other one becomes constricted automatically, because the other one becomes more vulnerable.
Yes, yes. But depending on the tile, for example, a split tile, you can close one and wait for example, a triangle for the other. Or if you take a triangle, you can make, well, you can put both in the same city. So you have options, but I understand that the comment from Elias, it's very important. He said, I don't like Melvin's suggestions when there are so many extenders left. And I think it's important because with extenders, you have to choose one to be restricted. And with so many city caps with roads on the board, it's a little bit dangerous. So I agree with Elias Motion comment at this moment. And well, Moya made the move that it's not a big problem for Jordi, but still something to consider.
Well, there's an advantage in the mini battle. This move I'm not such a huge fan of, because it leaves the potential for a 3-point road for your opponent. I would just meeple it really, like with at this early in the game, with still 6 crossroads left, and overall there's still a couple more tiles to complete your road. I mean, I see that it's a good idea to put this tile here in general, because you want to stick in a straight road, and then you want to separate. Um,
Now the 3 points, the free 3 points for Moya that Jordi let it open. Mm,
exactly. So
yeah,
that's what I was talking about. So very often, what you got to remember, that Carcassonne is a zero-sum game. So sometimes you have to meeple stuff even when it doesn't look pretty, just so that your opponent doesn't meeple it on the next move.
exactly. This is what I call anticipation in the mentoring program. You have to anticipate. Do not think only about what you can do, but the obvious things that your opponent will do in the next move. So if you let a city like that with so many closings for it, it's kind of obvious that the opponent will take the 3 points. So you need to anticipate in this occasion. It's anticipation. It's very important.
Well, by the way, we're gonna face an interesting decision over here. So Will Martin creates uh, a big incomplete city over here with an 88% chance. 88 because there's 3 of those guys left, and if he takes this guy and puts it over here, then there will be a potential for like a 10-point city that red will have control of, and red's currently the one with the meeple advantage, so this decision favors him. And also, one other important aspect over here is that he might be more inclined to actually do this, because there's no risk of constricting the field. I mean, there is risk of constricting the field, but it's not a factor anymore, because green was quick to try to equalize red's field. Now red doesn't need to care about developing this field, because this field will ultimately be the same. But that's interesting. Red will actually try and finish everything all by himself, and I think that's definitely an interesting move. But what do you think, Melvin? What you would have done in
I
Martin's place?
would have, go for the big ruin or big city. There are many chances of not closing it, but with 87.5 or 88% of chances to invade it, it would be my choice, honestly. It would be a really huge construction in a game that there is no big constructions yet. No big farms, no big cities, not, well, two good spots for monasteries, but that's all. I would definitely go for the big ruin waiting for the CCCR. And well, I'm afraid about the split tile. Split tile, in Georgie hands at this moment, it would be a little bit dangerous because he could split and try to attack it later, maybe, and taking 6 points farm. Well, I would avoid so many options for Georgie making everything together.
Exactly. I completely agree. And the thing is, like, this city is still not guaranteed to close, and there's still the same threat of putting a city splitter here and then also putting a straight road over here. And so what green might do, green might even give a point to reds and then hope for a city splitter and then a curve over here to block in these two guys. Although it's certainly a question whether it's actually worth giving your opponent a point, but it might as well be. Okay, green goes for it.
Yeah. Now Moya has the option to kind of defend it, but well, if Moya wants to count with the split tile too, it's impossible to defend both because he needs to defend this small spot here in the left in this small city CCCR with one meeple. But defending it, he is assuming that his both meeples have to be together because he won't be able to use the split, of course. Otherwise, it's dangerous because with a curve, Georgie can block it all, make a double blocking. Well, interesting move. Now Georgie can make the double blocking that I just mentioned, but I don't know if he's gonna do it or defend his meeple.
Yeah, I like the double block over here.
Yeah.
Even though this is sort of vulnerable, there's still one of those guys left in case it gets blocked. So, well, I mean, of course, it's going to be a pretty big ruin. Like if Martin manages to find one of the many suitable tiles over here left, there are still 7 that go there.
Alexey Jorin Major, he's asking Chile Romania in what channel? So if you want to answer him about it, maybe he's looking for this game.
Yeah. Hi, Jorim. I think it's. Jorim is one of the Chilean players. I just forget. Do you have the screen name Vineria? Yeah, but we are going to basically the plan was this, is that we switch to Chile, Romania whenever this is over, but I have a suspicion that this might last longer than the Chilean match. But we have to watch this first. I hope that we make one time for Chile, Romania.
There is a good spot for this monastery, right? Risky, but well, I would take it anyway.
It's 8 points. Always take that. Like I would say it's a mistake not to meeple it.
Yeah. It's 8 points. Even block it is still 8 points. I would take it for sure.
And it's really the worst case scenario. Yeah, it's the worst case scenario. It gets blocked, and also if red blocks it, then he spends one of his city tiles, so it's 1 point less for him. And also, there are just not this many city tiles left. I mean, there are some of those, but.
Yeah, and they're gonna be balanced at the meeples. With 2 meeples for each, it's not like a big advantage after blocking it.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. Well done. Because the thing is, like, had green not placed here, red would have placed here. And now red probably has to either forego his monastery chances whatsoever, or go for a 5-point monastery over here, which is also vulnerable, or go for the 6-point monastery over here, which is also blockable.
Yeah, I think the problem of the 5-point monastery is that with the split, Georgie probably wants to farm, and with the monastery there, it would be very easy to invade the below farm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 12 points farm easy. So I would not take the 5 points because of the split tile, but well, it's safer than the 6 points that is very easy blockable.
I completely agree, and I just wanted to draw our viewers' attentions to the depth of thought over here. Like when you meeple a monastery, and when you have any decision like this, you also look at not just the point, but also how this changes the overall landscape. And I'm sure that this is something that Martin is thinking as well. And he chose not to meeple stuff at all, which is interesting. And so now, if you are
Now, Georgia has a great chance of invading with 88. Oh, sorry, my English is
88,
bad.
yeah, 87 to 88, depending on
88% of chances of invading this castle here. It's I don't know, a little bit risky, but I think it's worth. Honestly, I would do it, or maybe defending the monastery
yeah,
for 75%.
yes, I like both options. So just so if you put it over here, our viewers, then there's a 88% chance of getting this. Of course, there's the drawback of kind of the city being vulnerable from both sides, but still red will need to spend tiles to either block or attack this further, and it looks like it's something worth doing. And an alternative which I really like as well is placing this guy over here and then basically even flipping, because if you're the first to get this 9-point monastery, then it's like you have a very good chance of winning the game. If red is the first to get the 9-point monastery, well, then it's gonna be tied. So even though there's gonna be like only a 75% chance of finishing this, there's really gonna be a pretty much 100% chance of getting your meeple back, because somebody's gonna put this monastery over here. The drawback of that move, if you place this tile over here, is that you're making it harder to complete your city, and now in this advantage you're giving red options to get to free himself but block you. So imagine if red now gets a CCCR, then red is going to put over here, green's not going to complete his city, and then red will get his road back. However, so there's this disadvantage, and the final disadvantage that we see now is that red is going to, of course, block this connection and then just build a city on the other side. Like, I can't imagine red doing anything else. However, with Martin, I've said this so many times that maybe I should shut up. Hi, Edjus. Yep, thanks. I appreciate your comments.
Once I read in Exodus, I don't say the nickname of your friend from Latvia in BGA, and it was something about magic, doing magic. Is he really illusionist?
Yes.
I'm just reading here, illusionist Exodus. Really?
Yeah, exactly. Like we have a legit magician on our team. You should check his channel. Actually, I mean, well, you can actually just click on it from the comments. Yeah.
I'm looking for it.
No, yeah, but it just has like all kinds of tricks. I think he had one where he was trying to get him out. Like he was in a tank of water, and he had just a couple of minutes out to get him. He was trapped in the tank of water, and he had to get himself out.
He was in the Guinness Book World Record.
Yes, that's true. He has a Guinness World Record for.
Nice.
Yeah. So you see, we have.
He's so nice, really nice. Congratulations, Eds. It's amazing. I'm seeing your work here. Yeah. Really, really nice. Really nice.
Yeah. So you see, if we have a magician on our team, which means that he can get the right kind of tiles. Yeah, I was about to say this.
It was a joke in my mind, but I didn't do it because it could sound disrespectful. But you are from his team, so you can do it free.
I can do it, yeah.
He said in the chat, "I'm a magician, but I'm not cheating at PGA." No worries, man. We know you do magic, not tricks.
But it's very interesting. Like we'll have quite a diverse set of professions in our team. So we
Oh,
have a new player who joined our team this year, Egita Segliņa, who also former Latvian champion. And I kid you not, she's now studying at university for a landscape artist. Like nothing could be more suitable for Carcassonne than this, designing landscapes.
yeah, nice, super nice. Mingo works with cartography, I think, and it's very Carcassonne related. It's funny.
Yeah. By the way, this move that Green just did, I like with the field meeple. Or do you think it's too early?
The one with the simple clap,
No,
simple
no,
clap.
the one with this cap over here. Like with this cap. So Green put this cap over here to pre-build the 9-point monastery.
Oh yeah. With the feud, totally agree. It would be nice with the feud, like going everything for the 88% of chances. Yeah, totally agree. Oh, it came.
Yeah, and you see now Green would have won this field as well.
Yes.
No, but it's okay. It's a legit move. Now, by the way, Green is ahead in the game, and also there are some interesting options brewing as well. Green with the meeple advantage, he might use this to connect to this field, and it's at least a 9-point field, but probably it's going to be more. If Green gets the splitter, he has a huge impact tile over here.
Yes. And now it came. He can close it, take the farm, and it's a huge problem for Moya.
Exactly. So Moy needs to urgently finish his city and find some sort of city cap, but he doesn't. So probably he would want to drop a field meeple to equalize, but he doesn't have this many meeples. And I think it really all came down to these cities over here which entangled. So he could be able to win this game if he can manage to create an imbalance, but in this imbalance, this ruin is unlikely to outscore this field, which is already 12 points, but chances are it's going to be 15 points. Chances are it's going to be 18 points. Chances are it's going to be 21 points. And Green still has one more meeple. And what Green could do, if Green has a straight road over here, put a straight road like this. Or, oh no, imagine if Green gets like some kind of road end. Green takes a road end, puts it over here, attacks the city, and then puts a third meeple, and then wins the field with a 3-1 advantage, and then grabs the 6 point for the road. Okay, so maybe I'm fantasizing a little bit too much.
Very interesting tile, because he can do what you are mentioning, like closing the city. Of course, he has a city to close down, but I would not finish it and give one more meeple to Moya. Moya
Exactly.
is struggling with the problem of one meeple in hand. So I like your idea of taking the...
And
there is no more city closings with the curve for this specific side if you put the road for this side, like the crossroad ending the road and with a road for the city of Moya. So the closing with those, yeah, no more with this specific curve. So maybe it's a good idea to take this.
It's fascinating, and there's still plenty of triangles left to finish this guy. So you don't even finish that city, but you kind of put it a bit like this over here, with the straight line facing, with the crossroads facing down. The only problem is that it gives you a 75% chance of winning the game. Because there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so there's 2 curves left, which is not a lot. And you, at this point, with such an advantage, you already have to think, is 75% even good enough at this point? But it might as well be. You're playing against a world champion, and to be like, to create a 75% chance of winning a game, I mean, it's not bad. The only move to avoid is putting it over here, just because it looks nicely and gives you like an extra, literally extra 2 points, because you're giving yourself 3 and you're giving your opponent 1. Don't do it. Gotta take care of your own meeples first. Oh man, this is getting fascinating.
Yeah, really nice.
Catalonia looks this close to pulling an upset. However, I think red still has chances if red manages to finish this city. Like, red just needs a...
Yeah, he did it. Let me see.
No field meeple. Okay.
Field meeple. Okay, it was a little bit conservative. Good.
Well, actually,
now with any kind of straight road, Moy can be blocked by Jordi. For example, if Jordi had this straight road, it was blocking in the castle.
Exactly. And it's very unfortunate for red that he can't drop a field meeple. Well, he's not gonna drop it. That's interesting. I think probably probably green just recognizing the severe meeple disadvantage for red, and so he figures out that maybe this will be just enough. And also he's kind of incentivizing red's of connecting to the of let's say if red gets a curve, right, then green is incentivizing red to put it over here just to get those 7 points for the road and maybe connect later. But I think if red can get only one more meeple, so let's say if red were to get not this but this, then then red would have dropped a third meeple over here. So red could have finished the city had he been a little bit more patient, and this is something that I would have actually considered have I been green. There were still 4 of those, so even with this block I might just wait, and instead of putting this tile over here, take 2 points. Although no, this move is definitely legit as well. Now, well, it's very hard to use this tile as well, because on one hand you want to maybe to attack your opponent. Like, for example, one move that green must be considering is over here and making it harder for red to complete the city, committing the city to a starting tile. But on the other hand, maybe that's not the best move.
Yeah.
Because there's still plenty of straight lines are left. There's 5 straight lines, and you have tiles to block completely. So this is a very interesting situation in Carcassonne, that sometimes blocking is not the best move when you can wait for a better and more secure block. Daniel, so actually there were several 75% situation that we talked about. First of all, we're talking about these 75%, like then we were dealing with the monastery, and now we're talking about the 75% chance of green drawing one of the 2 remaining curves and placing it over here and connecting to the field. And if green were to choose to meeple this field, like anywhere, here, literally on any side, then green would make sure that he wins the field with 3-1 advantage. And so this tile, this little curve over here, would give the win to green, because you get 15 points for the field and you get 7 points for the road. So it's just setting yourself up for one of the 2 tiles with a huge impact. And it's 75% because, well, basically, if you need one of 2 suitable tiles, it's always 75%. I've talked about the math behind it in one of my previous videos. I mean, not on stream, but just in the regular videos, which you're certainly most welcome to watch if you're new to this channel. Oh, by the way, we are past 100 viewers. Not simultaneously, but in total. So it's very nice to see that the season is opening with some interest. I appreciate you watching this. In the meantime, can somebody give me an update on what's... Oh, so he did it afterwards. So now he did it.
Yeah, it's interesting move. Really interesting.
But probably Martin is going to place it over here. There's not much Martin can do.
Yeah. Many Doritos. Doritos with road. Yeah. Very nice move.
3 Doritos con una camina. 1 Dorita sin camina.
Well, Moya still have the chance to close it and putting a farmer, but now Jordi can invade with 2. Great.
But here's what can happen. So actually, I think at the moment, Moya has a thin, but a legit path to victory, but an excellent move by Red, closing off a connection to the field. Just fantastic. And it's this, is that if Moya manages to complete his city quickly, then he can drop a field meeple. He can hope that he gets both curves. He doesn't
Great
place...
move.
I love it, actually, yeah. So,
yeah, perfect.
So we're gonna get yes. So we're gonna get to this move in a second. But imagine this: so Moya closes the city, drops a farmer, places a curve over here, and then connects through this tile over here, like all the way down here, leaving this hole empty.
Really nice move by Moya. I'm counting the straight roads now.
Yeah, this is a fantastic move by Moya, and it's so counterintuitive because it looks like Moya is blocking himself, but not really, because there's still 2 of these guys left, and all Moya does is that he makes sure that Red won't be able to play something worse. For example, if Green finds one of those CCCRs, these big cities with a road, and places it over here, then the city will be dead. So even though it visually looks like the block, it's actually defense. And furthermore, it creates a blocking platform for the blocking square. Check how subtle this is, because if now Moya manages to get any road tile, even a straight road, by the way, Moya can put it over here and then make it impossible to block his city. So such a dilemma for Moya now. So does he secure his city? Does he take 7 points for the road, or does he go over here? So I think probably Moya should not take a 7 points for the road. He actually became quite fortunate in the fact that he was the first one to get this tile, and he might just go for the gamble, go for the coin flip, and hope that that the green does not get the second road. But now the problem is green is about to finish his city. So what do? Do you attack this, or do you defend over here? And it's really a question of priorities. What would you do here, Melvin?
I would take the 7 points, honestly. It's a hard decision, really hard decision. But, well, actually, no. Wait a second. We have two initial tiles, right?
Yes.
It's 2-1. I think I would defend my castle in this case. I was in mind 1, but it's 2. So with the 75% of chances, well, Jordi still have 50% of chances of getting oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, apparently Moy is watching our stream, but it's gonna be hard. Well, I think Martin can still win. Like, if Martin gets the second tile over here, he can put it over here, he can drop a field meeple, and he can connect through here. Like, that would be his path to victory. I'm thinking he pretty much realized it. It's a thin chance, but anyway, if you're a top level Carcassonne player, you need to find ways how to get out of difficult situations.
Oh, Bogdan Kurkan is already here. Probably Romania already finished their games, and we are still watching.
Sorry, Bogdan. Basically, the first match went so long we didn't even get to Romania because it's still 2-2. Anyway, Bogdan. So how did your team do?
Yeah, they won. Romania won 3-2. Oh, amazing! Congratulations, Bogdan.
Oh, this is so great. You know what? I kind of feel bad that we didn't stream this. So let me do this. Bogdan, can you send me a link to like what you think is the most interesting game? And just like at the end of the stream, we'll just simply go through the game replay and just try to comment a little bit on that. If by the way, if you guys are interested in this.
Oh, Moya took the last road now.
The last curve, right?
The last curve, yes, and he of course didn't make everything together.
It's coming true. It's fascinating. It's coming true. So okay, so Moya now can place over here. This, by the way, this is very interesting. How like in Carcassonne, very often luck sort of balances in itself. Like whenever you don't get crucial tiles, your opponent doesn't get crucial tiles either when you need different kinds of tiles. So okay, Martin probably is going to go over here, just adding himself 2 points, and just hoping very much for this one. Yeah,
more 6 points to Jordi.
Yeah.
If Jordi takes the closing with Crossroads, we still have one of these. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
So he can take the road and the farm will be everything together. So it would be really bad for Moya if the next tile for Jordi is the closing with the Crossroads.
He has to, yes. So the thing is basically, Moya can win. Like basically, there's a 25% chance of Moya winning. Like exactly 25. Because the thing is, like, Moya needs to draw the tile here and here. It won't be enough for Moya to complete the city, but it will be enough for him to complete the city and to join this field, because you also get this 5-point road. You get to win this 18-point field outright, and
yeah, random take the last one.
Yeah, and with
Very
that,
nice.
I think it's time to congratulate Catalonia. Well, and Martin understands this very, very well. I think he did like the right priorities of recognizing the difficult situations and giving himself the 25% chance of winning. But after all, 25, it's only once every 4 games.
Oh well.
Yes, Isna. This is exactly what we were talking about when it comes to the field connection. Yeah, very hard to recommend anything when you're Moya, because like this field is completely closed.
And now more 8 points for
Yeah,
Jordi.
I think Martin was pre-building this monastery for himself, but obviously he just didn't get it. But you know, I mean, what's... I think it all came down to this decision over here to build this city. Because like the long-term consequences of this, because Moya was ahead at that point, and he had the meeple advantage, and he had a plus 12 points. Creating this, a bigger city, would force Green to contribute over here and to somehow equalize and to spend moves. And with Green spending moves, he would just not have time to catch up with the 12 points over here. That Martin was Martin had been ahead.
Okay, Moya said congrats again.
Yeah, that was I think that's the same congrat. But yeah, I really think it all came down to that city. If you remember, we were talking about half an hour ago. But that just to show you how deep the consequences can be of one decision, like this. And also a fascinating game from Jordi. Really, like in both his victories, I really like what Green did for the most part.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a fascinating game. Sorry for those who hope to see the who are mainly joining for the Romania stream, but I hope it was worth it. I mean, I think it was very interesting. It's not my fault. Players are using all the time. By the way, as you see, players used all their time completely, and I think as a result of that, they actually started playing better. Hi Nick, hi Ever. I think in this format you're not allowed to resign. So actually you can't.
I have doubts about it, Alexey. I don't know if it's clear in the rules, but something we should remember is that Martin Moses, he comes from the traditional tournament, and you cannot resign there because points make difference. It's the third tiebreaker, so you cannot resign. I don't know about WTCOC. I think it's not very clear in the rules. But I think you cannot resign in a tournament game. But they are outside the tournament now. So technically he could.
Yeah, because like you physically can't resign the first game, and then later the rules aren't that clear. Actually, I think it's something that we should ask the organizers. But anyway, for the purposes of viewing, I think it's interesting when you don't resign at all. All right, congratulations, Catalonia. I got
very nice.
And
the comment from Jesus is very important. In this new format, we can talk a lot about the moves, and it's very nice. Yeah, indeed. I think it's super nice. I didn't think about it before, and we have plenty of time for talking. It's great.
Yeah, I agree about the chat, but I also understand kind of the psychological component that maybe, well, like nobody likes losing a game, especially like when you're the favorite. There are some losses like from 2 years ago that I remember with cringe and loads of negative emotion. And also, not only I remember, like I was basically, so here's what happened. Like 1 year ago, no, last year we lost to France. No, I mean I lost a game to one of the French players to the French player with a screen named Giglo in the World Championship, and then in the European Championship we were playing France again, and then the guys who were streaming the game, they were very vocal about remembering that loss of mine for like months and months and months ago. You remember Alexey lost to a player who was like 300 points, 500 points lower rated. So this kind of thing, it's also part of the game. So I understand why maybe somebody wants to write something in the chat. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Congratulations to Catalonia. Melvin, how are you feeling? Shall we wrap it up, or would you like to go through one of the Romanian games?
Oh, actually, I'd like to stay a little bit more, but my family is waiting. I told them that I'm going to do something really quick and I'll be back because Mother's Day, and I was with them and I took a break to came here. So I ask you sorry about that, but I think it's better to go with Jenny, Balu, and Mom and everybody. Okay, but yeah. I would like to come back. It's always a pleasure to be here and talking to you and learning from you. That's very important.
Yeah, of course, that's understandable. And yeah, I'm gonna do something quick, and then you watch three, and you watch a Martin Moises game, like how.
Yeah, but it was nice because as he mentioned it, we could talk a lot about the moves, and it was amazing. It was a very nice experience. Thank you very much one more time.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us, Melvin. So you can disconnect, and I think I'm gonna go through one of the remaining games just because I don't know, I've got a bit of the adrenaline burst from the last game because all the now this guy has 75%, now the other guy has 75%. This was so dynamic. Yeah, and you know, even if one of you guys wants to stay for the analysis, then feel free to. All right, we're gonna say goodbye to Melvin now. Thank you so much for joining.
Bye-bye, friends. Thank you very much. Good night to all. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye. Right, I'm a switch off Melvin. And you know what we're gonna do? We're just gonna go through one of the remaining games real quickly because I just feel bad that we. And I was going to go through Ervin Gal versus David Acevedo from Chile. So they're leader and the multiple times national champion of Chile. Oh wow! And Ervin won both games. Plus 30. Maybe that's not the most interesting one to go through. So we can go through this one now. We need a decider. We need something. Who else was playing? Actually, no. Never mind. No. Let me know if there's any particular remaining game that you'd like to see. And let me just check the lineups again. Okay, Michne Nicolescu versus Eric Perez of Chile. Yeah, that could be an interesting one as well. So how did Michne do? Okay, Michne lost, but then we gotta see one of the winners came. Anyway, I don't know why I keep overthinking this. Right, let's go back to Ervin and watch him. Doesn't matter. And let's watch his first win because it was simply closer. And we're gonna watch from his perspective. So, by the way, feel free to ask any question that you might have. You see quite a peaceful start over here with no significant big features. Just players making all natural move, and now Ervin with a bit of an advantage, being drawing more city tiles and being the first to finish. Also, probably Red's missing out on the chance to pick up some roads. Well, maybe now he can pick up a 4-point road, but he doesn't. Wow, maybe that's the thing, and you're just leaving a 5-point road for your opponent. Yeah, well, and now of course he takes the road, and an interesting move from Ervin, not going for the 6 points, but going for the 4 points, but control over your opponent's road. That's certainly interesting, taking away some tiles. Now it's actually quite hard for black to use this one. Maybe you can take 2 points over here. Adding this to your city is really not the best move because it's just not the most organic way to finish it. And yes, black knows his stuff, so we need to add some patience. Of course, the downside is that Reds is immediate to catch up on a ring road and get some value for himself. Now Red is threatening to attack his city. Well, it looks like the Red is getting the better draws. However, if black manages to equalize the city, black is very much in the game. And he does manage to equalize. So it is still not clear for us what was actually the source of victory over here. Wow, Erwin being quite generous with his meeples, even more generous than I normally am, maybe even more generous than Melvin. Well, doesn't spend his last meeple over here, so probably probably black is going to try and break. Oh no, he just connects. Maybe I would have broken the city first, but that's fine. Wow, that's a risky but very interesting move of trying to connect to, using your last meeple to connect to the city. And of course now immediately black will prevent red from completing his 8-point city. Now black going really heavy on the blocking, as he should. So his position now looks not as bad, and all really red has to do to win this game is just to kind of hold on. So this is an interesting move, but I think it's a bit impatient because because what black might do instead, given that he's behind, rather than just adding points to your opponents and also securing nicely his road, he might put pressure, like start a city over here and go to the left, something like this, and so and then hope to block it with a straight line. So yeah, generally you want, even though they're called city dividers, you want to use them for something else than dividing cities. Because you see now red is going to finish another city, or not if black attacks it, but red just keeps chipping away, getting small things, and the game looks now very hard for David. Well, quite a conservative move. I would have just grabbed the 6-point monastery, given that I have 2 meeples and there's still 32 meeples to go. Yeah, so David is getting quite difficult tiles to play. He might harass this monastery a little bit, but other than that, there's not so much to do with this straight line. It says he chooses this type of harassment, which is of course perfectly fine. Maybe I like to do it a little bit more to the side to take away outs from here, because there's still certain tiles of which you can take 3 points and then secure this square anyway. Yeah, very ambitious move by Erwin, and certainly it's not so much that he hopes to win this city, although that's also possible. He just needs to make sure that red needs to spend some resources over here, and then by the time black manages to block all the cities somehow, then the game will be over and we're going to run out of tiles. So sometimes you want to create threats, not with the purpose of actually winning the city, but just of the purposes of forcing your opponent to take action and diverting his attention from doing either things. And it's evident that Erwin knows this. So you see now he was forced to spend a useful, valuable city cap on defense, even and on a move that gives him exactly 0 points, even though you want to be spending city caps on starting new cities, on finishing cities, so that you can extract full value. Yeah, so now he's attacking again, and now he's indirectly defending. Of course, now Well, he might either attack over here or take a city. Maybe I like the attack a little bit more. Because the thing with this 8-point city is that it makes it easier to defend the square. And this is what it's going to do now. So everything's going to drop the field here, I think. No, I like this move maybe a little bit more, but sure. Well, now David has completed a nice patient, by the way, rhombus city. I think we mentioned this something earlier in the stream. Oh, it has become so quiet without Melvin. I just feel that something's missing. Let me see if I have any questions in the chat. No, but you guys are still watching, so I'm gonna keep talking, which is great. Yeah, probably everything's gonna take 4 points over here. The power of quick points is just, it makes your win condition so much more flexible. Because if you manage to score enough quick points, then sometimes you can afford to lose a big city, you can afford to lose a field, and then your opponent has just like no ways of catching up. Yeah, that's good move. Certainly trying to eat up the city in the meantime. Red is just relentlessly collecting all the quick points, and now he's gonna take 4 quick points here. But like, imagine, and even if Black manages to continue the city, he's now just like so far ahead that Red just might afford to lose it. This move is inexplicable to me. No, actually, I'm wrong. I think it might be an interesting move because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10. Right. So actually, no. This is a good move because what happened is Black counted all the tiles instead of just blinding putting a triangle like this, like I intuitively wanted to do first. And then he realized that this city would not be possible to complete. So instead he will be now looking for 2 city caps. And then it's not that easy to block because let's say if Red puts this tile over here, there's still 1 tile that is suitable to finish. And I even wonder if Red's going to bother. Red just might take away his monastery or just add 3 points to his road. And to be honest, I'd rather do something like this rather than just try blocking to something that, yeah. And Red just says, you know what? If you can, like, finish the city, I don't care. And this is probably what's going to happen. So now, well, Red has a couple of options. Probably Red should start coming to terms with the fact that this city is not gonna, like, the city's just not gonna work for Red. Is gonna work for Black, and Black is probably gonna equalize somehow. So you might either block the blocking square and also harass this city a little bit, because even there are no triangles left, there's still a city splitter that can at least ensure that Red gets the 4 points for this. And there's still 2 of these, one of these guys, right? One of the triple cities with a field. So Red can be still hoping to do this. Alternatively, Red might still consider harassing the city over here, but it's not easy to do because there's not going to be any 100% blocks. So I would probably go for this. Let's see what Erwin did. Instead, Erwin he grabbed the field, and he grabbed it in quite a voracious manner, so leaving a further empty road. Although 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only really 1 crossroads that is remaining. And check this out. So Black managed to complete the city, and what an amazing sequence. So that shows like really high level of skills from David, because this move with a triangle, recognizing the probabilities, recognizing that you need the caps, recognizing that there were still caps remaining, that the city were hard to block, He managed to complete the city and fight himself back in the game. And then props to Red as well, playing excellently, not trying to go crazy, prevent the city, recognizing his lead, realizing that it is okay to let your opponent finish the city, instead going for full compensation. First of all the quick points, and second, dropping a field meeple in anticipation of the closure of big city, and now being held with a field fight. Now Red is controlling a 9-point field with the cities here, here, and here, and then he has the potential of controlling, of making it 12 points and even dropping a field meeple over here. So there is a move that can give him a net 6 points, right? So if you share the city, you lose 3 points over here, but you give yourself 3 points for this land and then 6 points for this land, of course, if you claim this land as well. Oh, you're talking about that. Did I miss something about the caps, right? That it was easy to block. 1, 2, 3. Yes, of course, you're all correct, and I'm being not at my best. Oh, so it was super easy to block. So you probably it had to be done at some point. Yeah. Actually, why did he not do that? Going greedy, because I thought there was 1 left, but apparently there were 0 left. So, right, thanks guys for correcting me on this one. I'm pretty sure there are 3 cities in this field. Like, I'm not hallucinating. There's this one, and this one. Definitely 3. This. Nope, I'm hallucinating again. Sorry guys, because I just saw the monastery. Well, thank you for correcting me on this one again. Like, probably still a good move. Like, you have to spend meeples on something, and this might as well be a field. It could become a 9-point field if Red gets the splitter over here and then the curve to connect it. So generally, like, at this late in the game, yes, Isna, you're completely correct. So the question is, it's roughly equal now, but Red has the control of this fields and of this roads, and really the main task for Black is just to deploy all the meeples on time and then achieve all your objectives. So it might be not easy because you need all your tiles for everything, but with this curve, for example, you might go over here to block this connection and then drop a field meeple in anticipation of joining over here and also claiming some points for this guy. So let's see if he dropped a meeple. He didn't. I think maybe he should, just because there are potentially 2 cities and there are potentially more, and with very few tiles to go and some opportunities to take off your meeples, I really think as Black you should be spending meeples on every move. Yeah, he's just now going quite enthusiastically over here. Now as Black, it's hard to play. Like, you can block if you place it like this, but then this late in the game you shouldn't really be blocking. You should be just grabbing point. Maybe you can grab this 4-point road and then hope that it becomes a 5-point road when you connect over here. Like, you have to really risk hard. Fields instead. Oh yes, of course, because you can connect over here. Very good move here by Black. And then probably Ervin just gonna go for points, right? I mean, he might just try to prevent the connection, but I would just... Oh yeah, never mind. That was cheesy. Okay. Ervin just keeps grabbing points and points and points and points and points. Did I miss something again? Oh, there's no CCC. There's no CCCR left. What is wrong with me? Anyway, thank you for much for pointing it out. Yes, I was like always planning to put something over here, but there's nothing left in there. which then makes me think, interesting. Yeah, well, it's very hard for David to win at this point, but it's still worth watching until the end. Okay, so now you can drop, but you see what happens. This is why I really wanted him to drop a meeple earlier, because he's now at 4 meeples and he'll end up underspending his meeples. Like, he could have had a meeple on this land and now he would score twice, because now he will put here. And so we know that, yeah, and now of course you put on the land and you have 1 unspent meeple. So you with having so many city caps left, like, you have to realize that you need to calculate it so that you spend all of your meeples. Okay, so we know that black could have gotten at least 3 points more and then created some threats of connection over here. Oh, okay. The monastery probably is... Oh! And you see, so now black gets the monastery, and black would have had 6 points more had he meepled this field. So... okay, yeah, now of course everything's just gonna go over there. And then black will take this... Well, he will take this field, but he could have taken this 5-point road instead. So black... Yeah, so black would have had 5 points more. And then some threats, which would make life a little bit difficult for... red. Still, of course, very hard for something. Yes, Bogdan. I realized that there were no simple curves left. However, I was talking about like what he should have done when there were still 2 curves left. So like when he was placing this move, there was still a curve left, because the move after black went over here with this curve. Yeah, but the point is just always look. Yeah, you gotta really try carefully calculate so that you spend every single one of your meeples until the end. Well, Erwin made sure to spend his meeple quite generously. Yeah, so this actually ended up quite an interesting game. Only +8, and had black made this move, it would have been not even +8, but +3 only. And probably White had the better draws, but also I think Red made a few nice, precise moves. However, on the other hand, in a difficult situation, I still like this move with the triangle very much, even though this stuff was blockable because he had to risk, and the risk paid off, and black was back in the game. But red still ended up prevailing. So just taking a couple of instances of quick points, and that was maybe winning a couple of coin flips, and that was enough for him to win the game. Anyway, congratulations to Romania for the difficult but well-deserved victory. And also nice to see a good performance from Chile. Everything's still ahead. We also remember that Chile had a strong performance last year, being quite close to making it to the playoffs in a very difficult group. So we will be watching that theme later. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna see you soon in future streams. Bye for now.